Now, that was shambolic. That was bad, but it is not something that we had not expected. Honestly, this is our form. And today I have some mixed reaction. I'll just start with first, when the squad was red and everything, when we started the game and I saw every position of each player, to some extent I even felt like Maresca's been watching our videos. Like he has every suggestion that we had put in place, having Reese as a midfielder, as a CDM, or a double pivot with Caicedo, having Neto as a striker, having Palma as the right wing. The only thing I think Maresca saw into and said, no, with that, we are not going is with the keeper. I just felt like, no, Sanchez, no. And in first half, I felt Jorgensen did really well. Like he was making all these passes, he was doing a lot of good things. And the other suggestion was start with Sancho. He started with Nkunku. Now, I will not fault Maresca for the lineup. I felt if I was the coach, and even from my standing, that was equally a very good lineup that we started with. Now, what I'll fault, here what like the reasons why I think we lost this game. First is what, again, we have always been talking about substitutions. Like sometimes you just have to feel like I've always said, it's so easy to tell when we are going to consider goal. Like it's so easy. You can just see at how the pressure we are getting, how we are playing the game, and you will tell like, no, like if we don't make some changes, we are going to concede. And this thing started with, I think, the 35th minute. You could just see we were defending so much. And the reason why we didn't score was the thing that Maresca changed. Having two defensive people, like people who are always defending, like just in front of the defenders with Caicedo and Reese. So whenever these guys came and they will put a 45, it will always find somebody. Like all the second balls in first half, we had somebody there getting the second ball or somebody there to prevent any person from shooting, and that was commendable in first half for the longest time, even when from 35 minutes to around until halftime, when we were like busy defending, you could just feel like we will not concede a goal. And then we come again, second half, and Aston Villa starts by making the changes. He brought in Rashford, he brought in Bailey. Okay, Bailey came later, but he brought in Rashford. And there was like a shift in the game because Rashford was playing so wide. And now because you had to, like, now Malogusto could not go far, like forward a lot. He could not overlap because whenever he overlapped, Rashford had a chance to score. And even the first goal, how it came was he was in front. But then the people on this other wing, which I'll talk in my next point, you see, they messed up. And then the cross came and it found Malogusto trying to clear it, but Rashford eventually got a way to pass it in and it was scored. Now, this is my other point. We have talked about Maresca not making the substitution. I mean, if he had made the substitution earlier and there were signs, you could tell like, okay, somebody like Nkunku was not having his game, like his side was not like really working. You expected even at halftime to bring somebody new. I mean, again, we'll say it's cautioning the coach, but if you look at it, if somebody is not playing, you have to find a solution. You just can't wish it away. We have been wishing everything away, and that's why we have been losing critical points. That's why we have been drawing up games that we should have won, and that's why we have been losing games that we should have won or drawn. This was one example. because we made the substitutions late. Like it's like Maresca looked at the bench and felt there was anybody who would have replaced the people in the game. But we are not in a position where you say we have. Palmer was that one guy where whenever he got tired, we will still want him to be there because he'll do something magical at any point. Now, all these other players, whenever they get tired, you don't expect them to score. It's just a liability. You have to find a way to serve them. And Nkunku was one of them. I'm not sure about the other. At some point, I felt all the others were struggling, but you have to find a solution as a coach. Now, I haven't analyzed that game in detail to see where we could change. Even at the game, I just felt like it was like everybody was slowing. And now, this is my second point. Palma. In the last like 3 or 4 or 5 videos, I have made like blaming the owners, blaming the coach, blaming the other players, and thinking that if we don't win a game, Palma will go. Like it was critical for us to go to top 4 so that we retain Palma because he will be looking for another top 4 team. But this game has brought in some changes in the way I'm thinking. Like I'm at the point where I feel like good players don't just go to good teams. Like that may happen, but good players usually make their teams good. Like people who, like for instance, Hazard will sometimes just take the game on his legs, like he will just carry the game on his shoulder and just win the game for Chelsea. Like those are the people that you look and you say like we don't want to lose this guy because he's helping us, and the guy is also contributing to the team, is making the team, whenever the team is so low, the team is not working, the team is not scoring, the guy is working so hard to make the team succeed, to make the team win. Like for the last 3 games, and Palmer has not been doing well, and you will say that his form has dipped, and that's okay. Like they are young, just 22, 21, 23 at the most. You expect their form to dip at some point, but at a certain point, you expect a reaction. And this is one game where I felt Palmer like really, really did not do anything. Like his head was down. He was throwing hands around. Like whenever a pass was not made to him, he was, I don't know, just throwing us. Like you could see the body language and feel like this guy is not in this game. And he got some 2 good chances, which you expect like in the previous games he will be scoring. And even the second chances was one-on-one with the keeper. But then he did this thing and he lost the ball. And it was not just that. Like for the first time, like first half, I just felt like we were playing a game which Palmer was not contributing to anything. I mean, Palmer was moving like a player who was not in the match, but we were like pushing in, trying to score. And this is one game. If you are a good coach, if you are a coach that I know people will blame him and maybe is afraid that if he subs out Palmer, maybe things will not go as he wishes, or it will be you know, like do we lose our best player or we lose the coach? But sometimes you have to see this thing. You have to know that we are playing with a one man less. At some point in second half, I felt like Palmer was not playing anything. Like he was getting the ball and just losing or passing or not doing anything or not running back, not, which probably his side was crowded with James, with Neto playing in front of him sometimes with Malo Gusto, with Caicedo at some point. But as a man, you have to, like, if you are going to depend on you, like if you are a star, you should be able to create those chances, should be able to create the space. And this is the game where he was given a lot of space, which I didn't felt like he was crowded. Like I've been defending him, and I was always saying that whenever he plays at like at the center spot, like at that half spaces, is usually crowded, and that's why man marked, and that's why he was not performing. But this time, it was always free. He was always having either one person or it was just free. And every time he got the ball, he just slowed down the game and passed backwards. Slow down the game, passed backwards. Slow down the game, passed backward. And whenever he wanted to dribble past anybody to not be successful, I'm not looking at the statistics, but I think the amount of possession he lost, like the amount of dribbles he made that he lost possession, were many than the amount that was successful, which I think in that position where he was free, where he was not crowded, where he was always facing one person or two person, even Neto was able to pass people. I don't feel like he's playing to the best of his ability. And if he's playing to the best of ability, then I don't think why we should always grab onto this idea that if we don't get off what we lose him. Like, no, I don't care about that. If he also wants to play into four, he should like really try to help the team. It's not just about him. Now, with the other people, now I just feel like we were playing so well. Not that well, but I feel like we were, you will say, stable. Like there was some stability in the way we approached defending and the way we approach striking. And I felt was one game which would have scored a lot of goals, but we just haven't. And my problem has been with Maresca, with everybody, but right now I'm just idealist to what is ailing this team. I just think like we started with a lot of energy and probably our energy dropped. If there's anything I will blame was Maresca, because he was too afraid to make the substitutions quickly when our team was not performing so well. I just wish that next time he knows, like somebody should whisper in his ears that this is not a game. This is not a point where you have sacred cows. This is not a place where you want people to be happy as opposed to making results, because these people might be happy or not be happy. But when the X or the axe, as you call it, comes, you'll be the only one who will be sacked. So you have to protect your job, and the only way to protect your job is to win game. And if winning game means like if you have passengers in the team, you remove them, you sub them out. You have to do that. You just can't allow people, the squad best players, to be walking around the pitch not doing what they should supposed to do, not working for the team, not trying to score, not trying to come back to defend, not trying to put their best foot forward to ensure the game is just finished whenever we score the first goal. Like those people should not be in the game in at full time. Like you should sub them out. Maresca should be doing that. Okay.